Next, what we're going to do is we're going to connect up the jawbone to our control object, and we're going to use the reaction manager to do this so we can control it a bit better. First, just to clean up the scene a little bit better, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer for all our targets. Oops. I didn't do that very well, did I? Okay. Ogre targets. And I can hide those off a bit easier to clean up my scene as I'm working. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the jawbone as the driven object, and we need to know what our local axes that we're going to be dealing with are. We're going to be looking at the z-axis for up and down and the y-axis for side to side. So that's going to correlate directly to this. If we go up and down on the y here, that's going to drive our z up and down, and if we go back and forth side to side on our x, then that's going to drive the y side to side in the rotation. So what we need to do is we need to set up two drivers first. So first, let's go and get our reaction manager, and I'm going to turn on show selected, and I want to pick the driver, and we're looking for the position value on the x and the y. So x is side to side, y is up and down, so I'll take the x first. And I think I'll just turn off show select for a minute, and then I'll also select the y. There we are. And now with the x position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and set that for the side to side is going to be the y-axis for this object here. So I'm going to say the transform rotation y. Now I don't even need to zero this out with reaction manager. It is already 0 though, however, because we have a point helper right at its point. So it is actually a value of 0 anyhow, because that does make it easy to make sure that even in reaction manager that we've got a starting point that's zeroed out. So the side to side for the x is going to be the actual y-axis on the rotation, and for the y up and down is going to be the z-axis. And it initially makes us our two states to start with. Now the other thing we want to add to these is the states that we need to drive for the morphers. And the way Reaction Manager unfortunately works is it's going to keep making states. We're going to blow them all out after we've added them. For the x up and down, sorry, side to side, we need to add two of our morph targets that we've added, and that's for our corrections side to side. So what I'm going to do in these, I'm going to go in again and I'm going to say to the mesh this time, modified morpher, and we're looking for jaw left, and we're going to look for jaw right as well. Jaw right. And so I don't want to set up the initial state for this and set up a bunch of states controlling the jaw and then go in and add these, because it would just keep adding more and more states to it. It becomes a bit messy. If you do it all at once, add all the driver and all the drivens basically, and set it up that way. So it'll keep it nice and clean. For the Y, we only need the one, and we're looking for the jaw open. And if you do notice, I was using a bit of Maya terminology there when I was saying driver and driven, for those who are following as Maya people. But essentially, it's master and state, master objects and states. So that's how they're referred to here. So now what we need to do is we need to start setting up our different controls to do what we want. And we can easily just go in and animate this object going through a range of motion to start with for its extremes, which is usually probably the easiest thing to do. Let's start off with it up and down. So let's take it to the top. Let's take it to the bottom.